You talk about something called the bully and the butterfly, your committee, as it relates to meeting characters.
Yes, another big topic. And I think, Karen, we talked about this in the last interview, many, many years ago.
Okay, my memory's
No,
okay.
that's okay. This has to do with the committee. Now, the committee, I'll explain. In fact, in the interrogation that we just did, there was the committee, but I'll explain how that works. The term committee, the way we use it, represents all the voices in your head. So all the voices in your head, Karen, or David's head, Alice's, there's many voices in there. And as you know, these voices in our heads that we all have, we talk to them, they talk to us, they criticize us, they praise us, they advise us, or whatever. They get in the way sometimes. And there are a lot of them. That's why I call it the committee. Because I feel like there's a lot in my head. I feel like there's a lot of these voices, and they are sometimes in session discussing something. So the voices in the head of us as humans are very important, because I feel like my committee, your committee, David's or Elsha's committee, or I'll go back to your committee, Karen, your committee knows everything about you. Everything. Even stuff that nobody else knows. It's in there.
There's good stuff.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
So when you think about the fact that we have all these voices in our head, and these voices know everything about us, and each voice in our head has different opinions about that subject or that topic, or any subject or any topic. This is a very rich territory inside any human being. But then think about a character in a movie. A character like Jill. Jill has a committee. And if you could get into her committee, if you could visit her committee, you would know more about Jill. But the problem is, in screenplays and most stories or plays, however they were written, we are given no information at all about the committee inside a character. Nothing. We know what the character does, we know what the character says, we know what the character, how she expresses herself, what she wants, what her needs are. We get a little idea of what she's afraid of and all that, but we really don't know what's going on inside her head. Okay? Because inside her head, inside Jill's head, are all of these voices. Right? Now, what is it? The butterfly and the...
And the bully.
The bully and the butterfly.
Yeah, your committee.
Yeah, the bully. Now, what I just did with you, with Jill, and that was mostly the bully. The bully that there's a voice inside Jill's head which is saying, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. What you kept trying to hold on to was another voice. This will work. This will work. If I give him time. That's the butterfly. If you're trying to hold on. Sometimes, there were a couple of times when I was talking to you, I would support the butterfly, but then I would go back to the bully. So the thing is, there's a war going on inside the committee. There's a war going on inside every one of our committees. It's chaos in there. So the interrogation is giving voice to all of those voices. So every time I can attack you about something, I can praise you about something, those are two different voices of the committee inside Jill's head. And you as voicing Jill, responding to those voices of her committee, every time you respond, Jill gets formed a little bit more. A little bit more, a little bit more. So Jill is getting formed by forming the committee, not by telling the actress or the writer who Jill is, but by forming Jill through an interrogation process.
And then are they also forming who Jack is?
Same thing with
because
Jack.
They're confronting her on these different things.
Well, by confronting her, well, we're forming Jill's point of view of Jack. Now, if I interrogate Jack, or if I interrogate you as Jack, or interrogate somebody else as Jack, it won't be the same as Jill. Jack has his point of view. Jack has his Jack has his committee. His committees that says, she should take care of me. This is what she's the wife. I'm just making it up. I don't know.
Sure.
But he will have his committee that justifies his behavior or questions his behavior. He's got a different committee, but it's also in chaos. So these committees are in chaos. And it's building a character from deep, deep inside the character, where, quite respectfully to writers and actors will create the character from outside. Writers will design a character. You design this character. Actors will look at a script and go, okay, oh no, I can design a character that will do those things that are in the script. But that's not really developing the character at all. That's really creating sort of like a puppet that will do the things that are demanded in the script. The thing is, what's going on inside that character that causes him or her to do those things in the script. That's what you have to build. And that has to be built from way deep inside, not on the outside.
So when someone's writing a script and we're not connecting to the character, is that because it's almost a puppet?
Could be. Okay. Could be a two-dimensional character, yep. A puppet who's just doing... we've all seen films or plays or whatever, or television, where we go, well, the only reason that character's doing that is because the writer needs them to do that. Right. So it's not the character, it's the writer pulling strings to get the character to do that so that the story will work out. That happens too often.
And why do you think this meeting their characters in the interrogation, why do you think it just puts you in a different mindset? Because I'm already in a different mindset about a character that I just kind of like came up with and I've been thinking about for years but never really did anything with. So I'm not totally invested, but now like I feel like that person's real from just sitting here with you for that 10 to 15 minute span. Why do you think it works? What is it that happens?
I think part of the reason, it's a great question, I think part of the reason it works for both writers and actors, but we'll talk about writers for a second, is, because that's sort of the situation you're in with Jill, is suddenly there's a respect for another human being. You feel like there's another human being existing who's Jill, and I've met her. Or there's these other human beings of these characters that I thought I created. Now I've met them in person. And I have an obligation to them as the writer to honor them. Not I have a task of creating them. I have a task of honoring them and who they are and what that relationship is. So I think there's a different respect. And I think the same thing happens for actors when they've been interrogated. They feel they've had this experience of this character that lives inside them, and still it's like, I need to honor this person. There is another person. It's not just me acting. So acting sort of goes away.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Joker, but if you saw the way Joaquin Phoenix approached the character of Arthur Fleck, whether you want to say it was a terrible human being, but there were just so many moments where you had, at least for me as a viewer, I had so much empathy for that character. And I think that's through Joaquin's, treating him as just he was a real...
Yeah, it's his total immersion.
Yeah.
It's it's an extraordinary performance.
Absolutely.
And his total immersion into that tortured human being. And it's interesting because he ends up doing horrible things, evil things, killing people. And yet I have empathy for him because he's so tortured. He's so, that's an extraordinary achievement.
Absolutely. And the same with Renee Zellweger as Judy Garland.
Yeah.
Same thing, especially from just the opening scene, just showing up at the hotel with the kids and then not knowing if she could stay or not. And just this like fragility, but then this like, onstage persona. It was just seeing characters like that, like you just, all time goes away. Yeah. And in that moment when you were asking about my character, time went away, and I felt like I was her. So.
Good.